Good morning, children. Here I am explaining the question number 2. That is, which of the following has 9-nonozanol as spermicide? Now, let us see the options first. Multilode 375, Norplant, condom and sponge. Now, multilode 375 is the IUD which releases the copper releasing IUDs. There are three types of copper releasing IUDs, that is copper T, copper 7, multilode 375. They release the copper ions. So the released copper ions acts on the mobility of the spermatozoa. So the spermatozoa cannot move. Like that the multilode 375 will act. Norplant, these are the small stick-like structures. Those are introduced into the peripheral layer of the skin for the 3 years. Condom is a physical barrier. Next, the last one is the sponge. Now, the recent the thing which is developed is nonozanol 9. It is called as the N9 also. It is a spermicide. So, there are a small sponge patches are developed nowadays. That is a very recent development. The sponges are provided with the spermicide nonozanol 9. Now they clean that vaginal part with this sponge. Then it prevents the fertilization. Why? Because the nonozanol 9 acts as a spermicide. So before coitus they apply the sponge, and after the coitus also they applied the sponge. That is the spermicide is applied. So it acts as a spermicide and kills the spermatozoa. So there will be no fertilization takes place. Now the next question is question number 13. They asked, find out the incorrect statement. Glans penis is derived from the corpus spongiosum. That is the right option only. The urethra is passed through the corpus spongiosum, which is present on the lower side. That's why it is a correct option. Second option, surgical removal of the prepuce, that is a foreskin, is known as castration. That is the wrong option. Surgical removal of the testis is known as the castration, where the surgical removal of the prepuce is known as the circumcision. So removal of the foreskin is known as circumcision. Removal of the testis is known as the castration. Next, third option. So second option is the incorrect one. Next, third option, temporary storage of the sperm takes place in the epididymis. That is the right option. Serotoli cells are called the sustentacular cells. The meaning of the sustentacular cells means it is a supportive cells. Suppose neuroglia cells are also sustentacular cells. Why? Because they are the supportive cells. Here the serotoli cells also called as the sustentacular cells. Why? Because these are the supporting by giving the nourishment. So for the question number 13, 2 is the incorrect option. Now you see the question number 15. The collection fluid in the tunica vaginalis is called the hydrocele. Now let us see the layers. Those are present around the testis from outer side to inner side. So there are 3 layers are present around the testis. Outer layer is the tunica vaginalis. Middle layer is the tunica albuginea. Inner layer is tunica vasculosa. Now the tunica vasculosa is provided with the blood vessels and nerves also. Middle layer is the tunica albuginea is made up of the connective tissue. Next, the outer layer tunica vaginalis is a sac-like serous structure. They can release a fluid. So whenever there is a hit on the testis, to protect the testis, the serous cells releases a fluid which is accumulated in the tunica vaginalis sac. Then it is known as the hydrocele. Now the question number 17. Now what they gave is, which of the following is not the function of the serotoli cells? Now here we should know about the two things, Wolffian factors and Mullerian factors. Regarding that one, the Mullerian factors are developed in the females, where the Wolffian factors are developed in the males only. The Wolffian duct, the mesonephric duct is also known as the Wolffian duct. The male urinogenital ducts arise from the mesonephric duct, that is the Wolffian duct. The urinogenital ducts of the male are epididymis, vasa differentia and seminal vesicles. And Mullerian duct gives rise to the female reproductive tract systems like oviduct and uterus. So Wolffian is active in the male, Mullerian is active in the female. So the Sertoli cells releases the anti-Mullerian factors, not the anti-Wolffian factors. So in presence of the anti-Mullerian factors, no female systems will be developed. That's why here fourth one is the wrong option. Remaining three all are correct only. Now you see the third option that we didn't discuss in our syllabus. They form the blood testis barrier. Now what is the meaning, what the need of this one is? Now you see, blood-brain barriers are there, astrocytes. They won't allow the microorganisms or the pathogens into the brain. In the same way, the freshly produced spermatozoa, where they are not matured properly, they may affect with the pathogens. So the pathogens may enter into the Sertoli cells and may damage the developing spermatozoa. To prevent that, the Sertoli cells doesn't allow the pathogens enter into their cells by means of the preventing them. So the Sertoli cells are capable of preventing the entry of the pathogens into them. So it acts as a blood testis barrier. Now the next question is question number 23. In this one, now you see, in generally, what happened from the hypothalamus, gonadotropin releasing hormone is released. It acts on the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland releases FSH and LH. These two acts on the ovary, on the follicles. Now, what is here? The question is, what is happening to the level of the gonadotropin after surgical removal of the ovaries? Ovaries are not there. Then what is happening is the follicle stimulating hormone is increased in the beginning and then slowly it will decrease. Why? Because it want to act on the ovary, but ovary is not reacting. Why? Because it is not there. To make them act, more and more FSH will be released, like our thyroid gland also. If the T3, T4 cells are not functioning properly, TSH is working more. So the same way, as the ovaries are not there, the target tissue, the target organs are not there. That's why to make it more active, the FSH, LH levels will be increased first. Then slowly it will decrease. Now the same related question, that is, what will happen the flow of the estrogen and progesterone or FSH and LH before reaching the menopause? Their levels are increased like anything, then it will decrease. So here we can take the option 3. Blood gonadotropin levels will rise markedly. Now they can give the another option. The blood gonadotropin levels will rise and decrease. That also will be correct option. Now question number 135. The primitive tree give rise to mesoderm. A direct statement it is there. It is the correct option. 136. Fetal membrane that provides the first blood corpuscles for the circulation embryo. Yolk sac only. Why? Because in the embryonic condition, yolk sac acts as a erythropoietic organ.